Greetings and salutations, fellow YouTubians. My name is Terry Andrews Jr., also known as the J5 Guru. So, this is going to be what will be the first in a very long series, however many parts it takes, on how, I go about assembling the robot, or how I will go about. There's many things I haven't assembled, so, hey, I'll find out as I go along. Anyhow, so today I'm going to be focusing on how to attach these collar pieces to the front roller, okay, the front sprocket assembly. Yep, how to attach that, okay. This is a new 3-piece design on this sprocket that we've come up with. It's much more cost effective and has the correct profile in here so that the whole robot will not bounce up and down like crazy when you're running it. So, okay. You've got your collar piece here, okay? When you get this in, this may or may not have metal shavings in it, which is referred to as swarf, okay? What you're going to want to do is take a small piece of small piece of like spring steel wire or something like that, or any wire you might have laying around. You want to put a small hook on it, okay? Show you here. There we go. That's better. Small hook on it. Something small enough that you can get in here and you can pick at this. And pick this, you can kind of get in there, pick it out, and pick the swarf out. You're going to want to do that to all these. You're going to want to make sure there's no swarf in any of the 6 perimeter threaded holes, okay? And then what you might want to do after that is take a Q-tip, brand name, or cotton swab on a stick, and put it down in there and chase, get any debris, any foreign debris or material out of there. It'll make your life so much simpler. So after you've done that, you've cleaned it and everything like that, you may or may not decide you want to use a thread locker in here. I'm kind of on the fence. If you do use a thread locker to thread in these countersunk fasteners, use it like something like a blue thread locker, maybe even like a light thread locker, something that's meant to be removable. I don't think it's necessary, but again, I'm on the fence. I haven't really decided yet. So, what you're going to want to do is take your plate, and you're going to want to run all of these. Let me go to this camera. You're going to want to, it seems to show up better on this one. You're going to want to run all these down in to where they are just proud of the top here, okay? So that this plate is loose, okay? Let me flip it over here. And maybe you can see there's hardly any, there's just the tiniest of gap there, okay? What you want is you want rock and roll in here. If you have these sticking up too high, the holes are going to catch on the threads. It isn't going to move as much. Again, this is all, differences in machining tolerances. So you want these things to be able to move and shift a little bit. Because once you tighten these down, they're going to want to find the center of the countersink. Okay, they're going to want to self-center, each and every one of them. And if one of those countersinks is off, it will ever so slightly shift this plate in any given direction, which is going to make it nearly impossible to install on this shaft, okay? Because this hole here and this one will not be concentric, okay? Concentric meaning concentric, that they both share the same center line. Okay, so what you do, I already have set screws in here, and one note on that. I believe the CAD calls for these type of set screws right here. These are cup point, okay? they have a, sorry that's not showing up really good. Let me try this camera. I don't know that that's showing up. But it will cut in, it creates there's a cup in there and it has a sharp edge. It will cut into this shaft, okay? And they're designed to do that, to basically make it to make a divot in there so that everything stays in place. The problem with that is that when you do that, it will raise a burr. Let me see here. Do it like that. Come on, focus. Oh, please focus. See that little semicircle there? It will raise a burr. So when you go to remove this, it will hit that burr and it will catch, okay? So you might want to use a flat point set screw, okay? That way you're not gonna deform the base material of the shaft, and it'll make it easier to get these things on and off of here. Because steel will chew through aluminum. So what you do now is you're going to take one side of the shaft, you're going to put it in, put it through. You're going to keep in mind, you want to keep this keyway, okay? You want to keep that keyway pretty much in the center of two of the screws, okay? You don't want the screw to land on that keyway like that. That you don't want, okay? You want it clocked right about in the middle, so that you are hitting, the set screws are hitting on either side of the keyway as far away from it as possible, which is actually, I believe, 30 degrees. So when you go to put this in there, the reason you leave this loose is, yep, this has rock and roll. So now it'll go right through there just fine, okay? No problem at all. This thing can find its happy place. Now what you do is you take, in this case, a 5/32, and you're going to use it like a star pattern. So you're going to just gently tighten one up. Okay, so let's say, let me do it here for the camera. So there would be 12 o'clock position. Okay, I go down here to 4. And then, let me see, this is hard to do. Go over here to the, I believe, 10 o'clock position. I go over here to the 2 o'clock position. And then finally down to the 8 o'clock position. Did I miss the 6? Did I say this is hard to do on camera? It is. I'm trying to do it backwards and, yeah, and mirrored. So anyhow, yep, you just kind of snug them all down. Now, when I've done that, what will likely happen is it will be, now that one there, I got lucky. That one is concentric. Some of these, once you tighten them down, this thing don't want to move, okay, because that plate shifted slightly from one side to the other. But I made this one, and I know these holes are pretty much right on. So anyhow, then you want to go, and I'm going to do it so I know what I'm doing. So again, you're going to want to go in a star pattern. Actually, I don't think you can do a star pattern because there's an even number. But basically, you want to kind of go back and forth, be jumping around on this thing. There's that one. I think this is the one I missed. Yeah, okay. There we go there. And once you're happy with where they are, by the way, I'm using stainless steel hardware on here. I know in the CAD, I believe it calls for black oxide. I don't care for black oxide so much because it rusts so darn easy. And no matter what I do to treat it with like the Boeing stuff, the Boeing T9, it's still inherently will rust. So yeah. Okay, so this actually is probably a poor example, but yeah, it shows you. So rotate the shaft so that the set screws are on either side of the keyway. All right. Everybody getting that? Either side of the keyway. Then you can go ahead, make sure you've got this bottomed out. You're going to now take, in this case, an 1/8 inch Allen key wrench. And what I'm doing here is I just hit that. I stop. As soon as I hit it, I stop. I go to this next one, and I am pulling down on this. Okay, I don't want that to slide up. I go to this next one. There, it just hit. I go to this next one. Same thing. Okay, I am doing the ones closest to it. It really doesn't matter which ones you start out. You can start out closest or furthest away. Now, I'm going to this one. Doing that. Again, I am just putting just enough pressure on there, literally like that. Boom. I can feel it hitting. Down here, same thing. Okay, once I've done that, now these are cut point, but once I've done that, yeah, I barely tighten them, and that does not want to budge. But now I'm not going to crank these in because I don't want it digging in there like I had mentioned, but I'm going to give it just a little tweak on each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There. That is installed. Okay. Now, the paranoid amongst you, like me, can go back and you can give this a nice little, yep, snug it right up. You don't have to go in your star pattern now. Everything has found its happy place. And I can get just the tiniest bit of extra tightness out of this. And there we go. That's it. That's the way that I've come up with, and I think is kind of best practice for getting these things on there, getting them centered. You don't want to go and tighten one down real tight here, because then that's going to cause, you know, because these have a slight amount of tolerance in there, and it's going to cause it to go, you know, to move a little bit. And for this not to run perfectly true. So there you go. There's that. Yeah, not rocket science. Little things like that make the assembly easier. Okay, so that's it. That's that on that. Next video will be probably how to install the sprocket in keyway. What you need to do to the sprocket. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here on how to do these videos. But there you go. So that would be the first one. How to install this collar on this plate and get everything to be happy and lined up and where it should be. All right, that's it. Okay, so yeah, join our Facebook group if you haven't already. Join our Patreon. It supports us. It helps defray the cost of the project. And you get member perks, you know, Patreon perks. So yeah, you know, parts runs, things like that. So there you go. Okay, that's it. Terry Andrews Jr., also known as J5 Guru, signing off and saying go build something cool.